Hey y'all, Kevin Hutchison here with Realty Austin, and I am grateful to be a part of Stories Inside the Man Cave, a homegrown podcast just like my own business.
Wake your ass up
or take a damn nap.
And we're the three best friends that anybody could have.
It's time.
Sean, you were twerking. That's going to happen.
Murph, don't be a dick all your life.
It's one of the more fun podcasts I've ever done.
Hey, I tell you what, if you're not talking about sports in the man cave, I bet not say you got a bed.
That's it.
Man, you know what stage of life you're in when you start seeing friends of your sons becoming grown men who are about to embark upon changing the world. And in this case, about to graduate from high school. We're just going to call this episode 161 with the pilots. That being Chris Pilot. We'll tell the story there. And Mikal Harrison Pilot, one of the most highly sought after football recruits in the class of 2023. But we'll talk about that, but we're all about stories and really getting to know people. And gentlemen, man, I appreciate you taking time out of your Sunday. You're not supposed to be doing things like this, but this is kind of like a family reunion for me.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, before we get rolling, this episode is sponsored by Honest AC and Plumbing. You guys know we're native Texans. Yes, it gets hot in the summer. We're used to it, but for some reason, everyone seems to complain every year this time of year when we start hitting triple digits for like 30 days in a row and ACs start going out and needing repairs, maintenance. So if you're on the northern portion of the ATX suburbs, give these guys a call, Honest AC and Plumbing. They're based out of Hutto. They serve Cedar Park, Georgetown, Round Rock, and parts of North Austin. And it's not a good situation to be in if you don't have AC this time of year. So, are you guys now? Hey, I may have to put a special call in for you guys. Is your AC blowing cool air perfectly, just fine?
We're good, man. Year two of our new house, so we're still rocking and rolling.
Hey, I know a guy. So if you had problems, I was going to make a phone call, have them roll up to Temple, take care of my guys here. You can't sit in a living room without good AC. So the story for here and. We got to talk about the Lufkin roots. That's how Chris Pilot and I met. I was in the media there, and then lo and behold, it just became like a second family to me. So, Chris, how do you describe your roots in Lufkin? And Mikal, after him, answer what all do you know about Lufkin and that great football tradition, which is somewhat similar to Temple?
Man, it's a blessing to be a Lufkin Panther. I tell you that. Like it was unlike anything I've ever experienced. You know, knowing that you're one of the best in the States. You know, sometimes mentioned in the country was awesome. So to say the roots was started there, and to see it expand to where it's at now has been a remarkable journey for us.
Mikal, what has he told you about his past, his upbringing, the football days, so to speak, in East Texas?
Well, really just like I know hearing Des Bryant, because at first I never knew that he was from there. And then just all the stories that when back in his year when they were like real good, and now it's like just seeing all the players now it's like, dang, it's like they were really good back in the day. And now it's just going back there now, we're looking at it, it's like, I mean, I know there's still some coaches there, but I remember one time I went back there for a little workout. Everybody was like, you're a CP son. I was like, yeah, and just it's like there was like family down there, and like I haven't been there in a long time, or I've never even been to work out there. But it's like it's kind of family still down there, so everyone knows who I am because of him. So
no, it's pretty amazing. You look at the long list and CPU, and you probably know this, Mikal, the long list of guys who played or signed scholarships with Division I, Division II, so many from 2000 to. I mean, I can only recollect 2000 to 09, but it was so many. But that leads me to this, and I grew up in Austin and left for 20 years, but I always knew, and I was talking to your dad, Temple is one of those state powers. I mean, that blue, red, and white, you're driving down 35, you look over. I can't remember if I'm going north, I'm looking to my left or right, the stadium. I can't remember.
To your right.
To your right.
You're going north to your right, yeah.
Just amazed by it. And I'm thinking, man, why can't we play in something like that? Because you guys play in front of a full house. We play in a big stadium here in Austin, but there's a lot of empty seats, you know. But Mikal, your dad's been a coach there at Temple. What was it like for you? Because it used to be a one high school town. Now you've got Belton, now Lake Belton, about to play varsity for the first time. But a tradition like this, man, it's pretty special for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember just looking at it as a ball boy, 2014 really is when I started seeing they had went to state that year. I'm just like, yeah, they used to win, they're always winning, and since then, from here now, it's like we get a lot of wins. They get a lot of wins every year. So it's like that's the thing. That's the standard for them, just winning, and try to win a state championship.
See, Pete, for you being a coach there, I mean, is it the same amount of pressure on you guys and the community as you felt as a player at Lufkin, upholding that type of tradition?
Oh, without a doubt. Like you can't come to Temple and not win. Like that's a standard. You know, it's just like in Lufkin. You can't not win. And you know, but we embrace it. It's something that we're used to. These kids here, they work their butts off, and you know, we put a game plan together. They go out and execute, and we do the best we can with what we got. You know, so it's year in, year out, Temple's going to make some noise somewhere, somehow, you know. So,
Mikal, I got to ask you this year. I mean, this is it for you. I mean, high school goes by quickly. When you're a freshman, sophomore, you think you've got time, and it just those memories with your guys and everything, especially football, when it runs your life the way it does nowadays. What can we expect? Because I know we have some crossover non-district games. What do you expect out of your team? I mean, obviously, I think you're the guy. You're the face of this program. What can we expect from you guys up there in Temple?
Really just trying to I feel like this year I just want to get deeper in the playoffs this year because we got the talent to do it. We always win district championship. We always win that, but just trying to get past the second round and just trying to get deep in the playoffs and see how far we can really go.
That's pretty much that's what I'm going to be honest with you guys. I just pulled one of the things that I hated when certain questions were asked by the media, and I always try to avoid them when I was on that side. Tell us what do you expect somebody to say if you were to ask me that? Well, we plan to go 6-4, you know. For you, Mikal, you have a lot of guys, a good support system, and I've seen a lot of recruiting processes for so many, including your dad. And I have friends of mine who ask me for advice, and there's only so much I can offer because the game is so different now. I mean, recruiting's in your face 24/7. Is that a fair assessment?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah.
Without a doubt.
I mean, how would one, I guess if there's a younger person watching this, what advice do you give them to handle it the right way, but also balance? Because you got to have a life too.
Yeah. I say really just, I don't know, just like reaching out. Well, when they reach out to you, really just trying to hit them back all the time. And then just let them know that you don't always got to hit them up 24/7 because, you know, you got a life as well. But really just kind of trying to just here and there, hit them up. They don't hit you, but just hit them up whenever and just really once or twice call them, give them a call, and then really just like that. I mean, it hasn't been at first it was kind of a lot because it was just my sophomore year was a lot going on. But now since I dropped top school, it's just now it's the people I want to talk to now. So it's kind of gotten easier. But yeah, just really just kind of really I'm trying to think. I mean, it's not that hard balancing out, but I mean, you'll get used to it at first, but I think you'll be fine.
No, it's so different. And then you mentioned your top 5, and I know that's a relief. And this is what he's talking about right here. These graphics, I know this looks very strange, but this is what I have to deal with on this platform here. But he's got his top 5. I mean, it's all great opportunities, all great programs. The pilot way is to analyze and find the best way and make an educated decision. He's got Cal, U of H, of course. That's where his dad. He's a Cougar for life. Played linebacker. And I got a special clip for you guys in the second segment. TCU and Texas and Oklahoma. I'll start with you, CP. This whole process, getting down to those 5, what has it been like for you as a dad, and how have you assisted him in this narrowing it down to those guys?
It's been, I mean, a lot of people won't believe it, you know, him having 47 offers or whatever, but it's been easy, you know. We went into this thinking I want him to do things his way. You know, everybody's going to say, oh, he's going to be a Cougar because his dad's a Cougar. I said, no, he has his own legacy to build, you know, whether it be following my footsteps or taking his own path. So he's kind of taken on his own recruiting process. And, you know, we've been in touch. You know, we see who he's talking to or ask, like, hey, who you been talking to lately? And he'll give us kind of a rundown who he's been talking to. And other than that, we let him be him. You know, I think the best thing as a parent dealing with kids that are being recruited in this situation, you let them be them, because it's already stressful for them. They're calling you nonstop, texting you nonstop. Well, the worst thing you can do as a parent is be another stressor for them.
Right.
So, you know, we sit down and talk like, hey, what do you think about this school? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? And we kind of go from there. And he's like, hey, Dad, I'm ready to drop my top 12. I was like, all right, let's, you know, pick a day, let's drop the top 12. Hey, Dad, I'm a top 5. All right, let's drop the top 5. But, you know, his schools have been his schools he's chose. It hasn't been, hey, it's daddy's input, mom's input, mama's mom input. The community, the coaching staff has been what Mikal feels is best for him. So,
Mikal, I feel like I would be serving injustice if I don't give a shout out to the lovely lady in your house in the picture to the far right, that being Mom. All moms handle this differently, just like Dad. Has she just been, hey, we want you to be you and you make your own decision. We're not going to influence you in that way. Is that how Mom has been too?
Yeah, cause I mean, her being my stepmother, it's just the same. We play the same role. Cause my mom lives in Houston, but
yeah,
she plays the same role. Really, just being in my life, just being that extra person that I need. That, you know, when I see my mom, I have her. So it's like the same way. But yeah, she's been a really great person in my life, really. So I really thank her a lot.
No, I love hearing stories like that, and you know, when you look at here in Austin, so everybody who is not aware, Mikal is basically, I hate using the term athlete, but that's how diversified and talented he is. He's earned the respect, and where you can put him anywhere on the field as an athlete, receiver, running back, linebacker, DB, maybe a returner. When you first appeared on here, I was like, oh my God, that's little Jordan Humphrey. I almost thought that for a second. But and this is not, you don't have to answer this. If you wanted to choose your own position, where are you most comfortable at?
Receiver. I'll say receiver.
Receiver for sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because you do have the size where you could grow, and I sound like a coach here. You could grow into a linebacker if you wanted to. Is that even remotely possible at the D1 level?
Man, I don't think so. I don't think so.
So for the people in Austin, I know there's people nationwide. This is mainly focused in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana, mainly where our viewers and listeners are from. But for the visit, you saw that picture people did of you tipping the cap. It's fun watching visits nowadays for recruits everywhere. It's not just in Austin. But what is it about Texas that you like so much that you think that Sark's system is a good fit for you?
I think just because like his offense is it's NFL offense. It's like all the schemes I saw when I was in meetings, just looking at all the schemes, it's like he's gonna get you ready for the NFL. And Coach Marion, he's one of the best receiver coaches in the nation, especially what he did with what was it? Yeah, Jordan Addison.
Yeah.
Just seeing what he did, he went from like nobody to somebody that next year within a year and becoming a Blittenkoff winner. So I know he knows what he's talking about, and just the staff, they all know it's like they know what they want, and I think they're gonna prove something next year. So that's what I really want to see.
I think everybody in this city where I am now, it was like, man, come on, let's end this 12 years of doing this.
Yeah,
it's a cycle.
Yeah,
it's everything's cyclical. Not everyone can be Alabama. That's a CP as a coach, a Texas high school coach. member of the THSCA. It's a big deal. When you're a dad and even a coach, and a coach stops by, can you see right through? And I'm not asking you to name names. Can you see right through if a recruiter is being legit, organic, authentic, or not?
Oh yeah, it's been easy for both of us. I mean, he's been around me and my stuff for a long time, so he knows what's authentic. He knows what's not authentic. And for me, I sit back and I listen. You know, I don't have much to say. I let him talk and whatever, but we kind of look at each other and we know, like he knows who's been who, and it's been pretty easy for us.
You guys have, if you're sitting in a living room visit, I've had a couple of buddies of mine, their sons, they had some, like baseball players have that sign. You know, if a coach says something that seems programmed to what they'll look, or just, they got that sign like, all right, he's done.
Right. No, I mean, for the most part, I would say, honestly, for all the schools we visited, there's been a lot of guys that were very genuine. You know, I mean, there are some times, like I give you a story of Jim Harbaugh. We go up there and he's different. He's a character, and so he wants to go play this little basketball game with us. He's kind of walking, and he hadn't met Mikal. We hadn't been on Michigan's recruiting site. Like, nobody even thought about him, and he kind of looks at him and goes like, "Hey, look at his calf muscles. Look at that. I like that kid. I want to offer him." And it's just like that, it just went from like, hey, we're in the area anyway, we're going to stop by and visit, to like, Jim Harbaugh's offering you based off high calf muscles. Okay, cool.
Man, that's a quick twitch calf muscle.
Right. That's exactly how he saw it.
Mikal, everything's not about athletics. I mean, obviously winning and a good program, but what else are you looking for as far as academics that's going to be attractive to you when you make that final decision, I guess, before December, which is, it's up to you, obviously.
I think just the business program, looking at all that, because I've seen all the schools right on there, my top 5. I've seen them all. I mean, I heard all the good things about it. I know their rankings and all that, so I already know what rankings are like, who got the best one out of that 5. But really, just when I go there and just looking at the things they have and all the things they're offering me, like, to use, like, even when I have a major and I have my minors I want to take. But yeah, just looking at that. So, but yeah, I think all of them have great business schools, though. I'll tell you that. So,
no, you're going to have it. Of those 5, not a bad decision. There's not a bad choice. Hey, I'm about to embarrass the two of you. It's for a sponsor. I embarrass myself every time I do this, but it's for a sponsor that toes the line, if you will, goes into the gray area of what you can and can't do. All right, gentlemen, we all know that manscaped.com, they have a great presence, and I'm going to do my best to clean this presentation up. Our significant others, I would assume that most would say, you know what? Trim the hedges. You don't want to resemble the German Black Forest below the belt. From face to ears to everywhere where the sun don't shine, these guys evolve. And this is the latest package and one that I like. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I endorse it. It's a 3-step process: crop exfoliator, and then you got your crop gel, the small razor. But that's one thing. We're so spoiled these days that we need something battery operated. Let's get that thing done. I don't feel like using a manual. They have those as well. The Lawnmower 4.0. Yeah. And this is called the Ultra Smooth Package Shaving Care for down there.
Oh, man.
Hey, I feel like I made it pretty smooth. We got through that. But I want to challenge all the Temple Wildcats in Central Texas, wherever you may be. Use this promo code, ManCave20. Do you think that you think that would be something that some Temple Wildcat individual, Wildcat Nation could utilize or implement in their lives?
Man, I'll be honest, I don't know about all that. I mean, that'd be strictly up to them.
Yeah. Hey, we don't want to know about it, do we?
Right. No, sir. But
All right, man.
I'll pass it along just in case anyone having issues with their shaving packages.
The things we'll do for partnership sponsors. That's amazing. Amazing. Manscaped.com. Use that at checkout for anything you may want. But this is the best part of segment one, especially when you have a father-son. And that's what I've kind of focused on month of August, but I'm starting early. Father-son stories, high school football, stuff like this, because you guys are a tremendous story. And I told your dad I use this as an excuse just to see you guys, see him. I haven't seen him in a decade. But the Man Cave story, there's been some really good ones from all walks of life. Is there one story that you guys can share that you love telling that, man, you guys can't stop laughing about, and it's equally as comical every time you tell it?
Well, he's been with me for a while. So me and my wife are both educators. So we're big on, making sure you protect the home, make sure you represent the last name well in and out in the classroom, out of the classroom, in the community. So I think it was fifth grade. He decided he was going to be a little turd in class. And I get a call from, an elementary teacher saying, hey, Mikal has done this. I just want to let you know. So at this point, I'm fuming. I'm like, what in the hell has he done? So I think I had an 8th period conference. So I went over there and I picked him up. This is during football season. So it's like, I can't take him home and do whatever I need to do. So I was like, okay. I went and got my paddle. It was the old school paddle, one I had made just for him. Got some holes plugged in there and everything. But I wasn't going to paddle him at the schoolhouse, so I had to come up with something creative. So we get out of 8th period, and we're coming over in this football practice. So I decided, what better way of punishing the kid than making him hold a board in front of his face, and look at it the whole time I'm coaching the football practice. So we're in practice, and I'm coaching individual with my linebacker, and I look up and I see his arm starting to go down. I'm like, you better get that. Or, I'm just trying to coach and punish him at the same time. And the next day, my wife, who worked at the same school, was like, your husband crazy. He had y'all come. He was out there holding the paddle. Da, 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 da. So for weeks, people was like, yo, nobody wants to mess with Coach Polly because he's crazy. He has his 5th grade out there holding a paddle board every day for a week because he got into a little trouble. And it's probably something very small, but again, we tried to make it a deal where like, hey, you represent us because we work at this district. So even though we don't work with them hand in hand, they're our colleagues. So I think that's one story that when it comes up, it's like, damn, if I was take it back, maybe we just have a little talk the first time, but I don't know. I was kind of that old school John Outlaw. You mess up, you had those 3 big tractor tires, and if you, depending on what you did, you was gonna go see one of them, and you was gonna learn that day. So that's probably the one that's best rememberable from our time.
Mikal, is there anything you could add to that, or is that just one of those moments that has really in your mind to this day that, okay, being disciplined or punished at football practice is worse than being punished at home?
Nah, it's gotta be that one because it was fun of the whole team, like everybody, not just a linebacker. It was everybody. So I was probably just the worst one ever. So it was.
Oh my God, that just adds. That's easily one of the top 5 Man Cave stories, by the way. I love that you threw a John Outlaw reference in there.
Oh yeah,
great John, yo. Rest in peace, John Outlaw. Great head coach. Coached Chris Pilot there amongst many at Lufkin. I think he passed about 9 years ago.
It was 2011 or so on Christmas.
Yeah, I remember I came down from Oklahoma City to Austin, and I get
it was 11, 12, 13, somewhere in that range.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was not a good morning. I'll say that.
No, definitely was not.
Well, we're gonna cheer things up, and Mikal, you've probably seen it, but I've got video evidence that your dad could lay the wood back in the day on the football field. You've probably seen it. And we'll have some fun with you guys with photo association and just get your input on a couple of things that are hot topics right now involving college football. And that's coming up on the other side of this quick break.
For all of your insurance needs, look no further than our primary sponsor, Jim Saxton State Farm Insurance Agency. The ATX OG has been insuring Austin for over 3 decades. And get this, Jim Saxton is a Longhorn legacy. He is the son of the late, great James Saxton, who was a Heisman finalist. Be sure to give him a call, or better yet, visit his website, saxtoninsurance.com, and tell him that the stories inside the Man Cave Boys recommended you.
This is JJ Gotch, CEO of the Austin Gamblers. And segment 2 of Stories Inside the Man Cave is next.
This time a chance at a return. Morton fields it at the 8. Dion Morton. Wow.
Wow. I didn't see that game live, but even back in 2008, we were blowing people up texting, and I was in Oklahoma City at the time, and someone said about 9 o'clock that night, did you see Chris Pilot's hit? And so I had to search for it, things weren't readily available as they are now on Twitter. Right. So I got to ask, son, was that one of the best hits you've seen? What, on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the highest and hardest, and be honest with me, what would you rate that hit? I know it's on special teams.
I'll probably like a 5, because you never see anybody on special teams doing that anymore. Like, especially nowadays, you really don't see that anymore. But yeah, I'll probably give it a 5 out of 5 though.
CP, at U of H back then, that was did you catch the beginning of Kevin Sumlin?
Yes, it was my last year.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's when it started the momentum of getting that program rolling, right?
Yes, sir.
Hey, real quick, farmhousedelivery.com. What they do is here in Austin and across Texas, they source Texas organic produce, meats, whatnot. And you know how I mentioned that word entitled? If you don't want to go to the grocery store, you put your order into these people and they will bring it to your home, office, wherever you are. And if you want to place an order, promo code MANCAVE, 2 separate words, for 20% off. It's a pretty good deal. You got to eat the fruit really fast. I mean, really fast, because it's organic.
Yeah.
It doesn't keep as well. But one thing that I wanted to ask you guys both, there's been a lot of changes in college athletics right now, and it's not just college football, but your take first, CP, on conference realignment and your alma mater, Houston. I mean, going to the Big 12, do you see that conference they're going to settle in right now when Texas and Oklahoma leave, or do you see them growing more? I think it's like a crapshoot right now of what's going to happen.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm happy for those guys to finally get a seat at the table. It's been overdue, but it's been interesting. As we go through this deal, especially like when my son started in high school, he got to play his freshman year as a varsity player, and then, going to the spring, COVID happened, and this whole thing kind of shut down. So it's been an interesting process from a personal aspect to just watching how the game of college has changed. It's all about the media markets, what you hear, the super conferences, who can get you the most money from the TV deal. So it's been interesting to see, like, how's it all going to end? Like, is it going to be the true 4 super conferences? I've heard people say there's going to be 3 super conferences down to just 2. So it's been different. Like a lot of us older guys are used to like just old school Pac-12, Big 10. BCS play for it all at the end. But,
right.
It'll be interesting. I mean, the game of college football is so fun. I mean, it'll take some adjusting to, but I think at the end of the day, college football is probably the best sport that you can You can play, watch, be a part of any of those things.
Mikal, from a recruit standpoint, I mean, you're being just showered with all types of information. And it's up to you to process it all and what's what and what is who or where you want to associate yourself with. But during this whole recruitment, and it's not so much asking where you heard it, but have you heard any of this realignment brought to your attention at all?
I mean, I know I heard it. Well, the first time I heard it I was at Texas. They said they were going to the SEC.
Right.
They were just like, they were talking about buying it out, all this and that. But yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing really, actually, because I was like, I thought that conference was like set to be that. And then now it's like everyone in the nation's doing it now. So it's just like, I guess it's just whatever how it is. And I guess people just want to, like I said, make the super conferences and all that stuff. But yeah, it's kind of cool. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, it's just a lot of teams getting added. And it's like other conferences get left out. But at the end of the day, it's just whatever's best for the team.
Yeah, I see that, and you're absolutely right. It's hard. I'm like your dad. I'm old school. All the old, the group of five, Power Five, whatever you want to call them. Then Group of Five. Then you have FCS, like where I went, Stephen F. Austin. It's just that's what we're used to. But I think we all three can agree everything evolves and changes, and then college athletics. It's a major industry. It's about money.
About the dollar. That's all.
Hey, Mikal, so I'm a fan of Steve Sarkisian. I really like him. I really like the guy. I like his hires. Here recently, Bijan Robinson was on Sirius XM radio talking about what he expects on this next season. Because I know last year they started 4-1, were crushing Oklahoma, and then finished the year 5-7 with a win over K-State. But this is what Bijan had to say about that second season under Steve Sarkisian as it's about to begin.
It's been a blessing. I've learned so much from him, and I learned a lot from, a lot of people here just in Texas, around the city. And I know that I know that last season was, kind of a struggle season for us, but I know that it all leads up for something in the end, and everything happens for a reason. So, I'm just really glad I'm here making an impact, for this team and for the city.
So he'd also mentioned, having Stan Drayton and now the current running backs coach, Tashard Choice. I mean, phenomenal running back coaches. But from what he said, what can you, from a guy who's talking to quite a bit, you've been educated on Texas, you have relationships. What is it that you like what Bijan said that really you think fans should latch onto and really believe what he's saying?
I think because, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like you can't let like 1 year of a new head coach really kind of decide who Texas really is. I think just give them a couple years, and that's why they're building more, and that's why the 23 class is really building up. But what he's trying to say is really like give them like 1 more year, and I think this year can be the year where they win a Big 12 and just go all out and just try to go to college football playoff. So,
CP, as a coach who sees development and how long it takes, they have almost 40 new faces on this roster.
Yeah,
and I'm just using Texas as an example because of what Bijan said. And Bijan is one of the most well-spoken class acts any program would want. But from what you see, can they have a dramatic turnaround, a program like that has added that many new players?
I think they can. I mean, we've been down there so many times. Again, it's all about the trust and respecting your coaches. And, every coach I've met, you can see they're very genuine. It's no show that they're putting on. They're speaking, they're preaching what they're actually doing. Those kids, the vibe, their energy has changed. I've been down there before. I've watched the old regime, and I've had some guys that played there under that old regime talk about the vibe wasn't there. These kids. Anyone that walked past us, they was, hey, how you doing? I'm such and such. Hey, how you doing? I hope you're along. I mean, just the energy that they have. It's like you can tell, like Sark has come in and said, hey, we're going to put all the talk aside of what people say about Texas, you know, and we're going to put our foot down and we're going to put our head down. We're going to go to work, and then we'll play the X and O game come fall and see how all the dominoes play out. So I think they have a good chance. I think they have a good roster. I think the guys that are leading those guys are doing a great job.
You cannot substitute a coach with true leadership. There was this lack of vibe, and it was just I don't know what it was under Herman's. They came close, but there was something missing, and I don't know enough to really comment on it. I don't want to bash some coaches at all.
Right.
One thing that I've had several discussions with is name, image, and likeness. I want you guys to hear. You saw what Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher, they had their little beef when that all came out. Well, that beef turned into a love fest at SEC Media Days. I don't know if you've seen this yet, but to me, this is hilarious.
No, because of the things, the way what he said when I said, I mean, that we're moved on from it. But NIL, like I say, guys, there's no rules. Each state has its own rules. I mean, it's not just an NCAA thing or a national thing. There's each state, like for instance, in Texas, we cannot bring up NIL to a recruit. We can't say it. We can't promise. All we can say, if guys on our team have it, that's all we can say. Other states can prevent written contracts. They can send you a written contract to a guy. I've been going through that in a recruiting thing that, you know, I mean, it's just the world we're in, and we're frustrated because there's no unification of what happens and the way it happens. You know what I mean? And it's just a different day and time. But listen, change is inevitable. That's the rules we have to play by, so we all have to adapt and adjust. And if you either adapt and adjust or you don't, one of the two.
He's not wrong. I'm a huge advocate of name, image, and likeness. The both of you, and I'll start with you, Mikal, you could not be entering college athletics at a better time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, CP, I got to first off, what is from a guy, I'm not going to call you an old head, but a former student athlete, when you see this now and you knew what the lifestyle was like and what you were sacrificing just to have money to go out or to eat, and now these opportunities provide themselves. What's your feedback as a former student athlete?
Man, I think it's awesome. You know, I didn't go to the biggest school at the University of Houston, but yes, I was on scholarship and we got our stipend checks. But it was hard, you know, being a 18-year-old, 19-year-old, you know, trying to be a football player, be a student, still have a social life, and then at the end of the month, you're putting noodles and bread on a sandwich and making it last to the next paycheck, you know. So for these guys, I think it's great for them because if they have the right people in their corner, not only is it going to set some of them up, you know, to have good money in their pocket while they're at school, but it can also set them up to do whatever they want and know that they have a cushion, you know, to go try to be go volunteer, be a college coach or get into real estate or whatever it is and not worry about how can I pay rent or how can I pay my phone bill. So it's awesome to see these kids finally getting what they deserve. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, they get a $200,000 scholarship to go get a degree." Yeah, that's awesome. But like I tell anyone, come take a step, come live a week in our shoes as a student athlete, and you'll see that we do get a degree for free, but it's well earned in all different aspects. So,
Mikal, what do you know about name, image, and likeness, and what will you, if the opportunity presented itself, what type of NIL, what is it that you are preferring? If I don't even know if you can speak on this right now as a UIL sanctioned athlete, but you know probably a lot more, the two of you. I know of the types that create marketable brands, like Last Stand Hats of Mike Murphy. He's one of the co-hosts here. Last Stand Hats, he has created a series for hats, apparel with a logo, and those sales, part of those go to the student or the individual. Mm-hmm. What is it that maybe you've been educated on that you're excited about? Because as your dad says, I don't think a lot of people know, to be honest. There's no time to create an income as a student athlete. There really isn't.
I'll probably say like kind of building your brand, really, like getting your name out there so people know you, like TikTok, like getting a lot of followers on that. That's where everybody be at TikTok, and just really like Instagram, just trying to like you have to post daily. You know, you can't like post every yearly, but just like daily stuff, and then like everything is really just building your brand and then trying to get your followers up, get your fans up, and just people knowing you, and then they're gonna start liking you, then they're gonna figure out you play for Texas or something, and then that's just like it's just more stuff comes like that, and then when that's happening, then everybody's gonna talk about you. They're gonna start buying your jerseys and all of that. So that's really what NIL really is, just building your brand.
Kel, that's brilliant. CP, I got to give you a shout out. You and your all of his supports. You guys have raised a really sharp guy. Really, I'm not gonna lie.
10%. There's no other way.
I got to ask you this because I don't think he can answer this. Do you see UIL being lenient and allowing name, image, and likeness toward UIL sanctioned athletes? Because I'm going to go ahead and throw this out here. It can't in the model it is right now, but I think it should be in a different model. All it is you have a company. You're marketing a product. What do you think?
Man, at first I was like, there's no way Texas is going to change the game of football. But as you think about it more, I mean, when you think about some of the athletes, a lot of the athletes and where they come from, why not let the kids start building a brand now? You know, there are so many of us that struggled, you know, to get through high school, you know, and all we had was sports, you know, some like myself, I was academic and sports. But if the main goal, in my opinion, is to go to college, get a degree to better your futures, to better your family, to better your fortunes, and you can start off in high school, you know, why not? Under some guidance. You know, you can't give a kid, a 16-year-old, $100,000 and say, get after it, buddy. But, you know, it's probably going to come with a lot of like steps. Like if you're going to be a UIL student and get an NIL deal, you have to be in a certain standard, or you have to do prerequisites classes or whatever to help these kids profit from. That way, there's a bigger picture for those kids to say, hey, okay, if I start now learning how to manage my money, if I make it and be successful, I'm not going and I'm not messing up. I already got a full understanding going from college to life after football. So I think it'd be cool for it to happen. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but my opinion is why not? Because so many of your athletes are coming from low poverty, you know, one parent home. You know, not everybody gets to 2-parent home and have that surrounding. So it'll be awesome.
I'm all on board. If we have to have meetings to create whatever speck of salt amount of input I could have, I could create a model that I think that would be acceptable. But in the end, it's about people should be free to use and create any type of business, regardless if you're affiliated with a high school or a private school or any type of organization, as long as you're representing yourself. That's all.
Correct.
I want to bring up some photos here, and this is the segment we call Quick Draw Questions. Mikal, we'll start, and you guys, actually both of you can comment with each other. You start from the far right picture. What's going on there? What was the young Mikal thinking at that moment?
Not gonna lie, it's kind of hard to remember like from way back when, but I don't know. It's like I don't even know what I was doing really. I was just sitting there, I guess, at the picture. But I mean, he probably knows about it more. But yeah, I really couldn't tell you what was going on in that picture.
Yeah, we were. This was my first year. I think 2011. I had just got on at St. Pius, and this is the actual playoff game. And this is when Mikal was still staying with his mom, and we were playing in somewhere kind of in this area. And so I called mom, was like, hey, I'm going to be staying in a hotel in this area. Is there any way that you can bring Mikal by to come see me? And he hadn't seen me in a while, so that face is kind of like, dang, when I didn't know you was coming, you know. So that's kind of what that picture is right there. He had been with his mom, and we was coming through Waco. I forgot we was playing some team, and stopped by the hotel and we spent a little time together before he went on home. So
the middle photo, I think that's going to win everybody over. That's going to shut down Twitter. Another young Mikal right there. I mean, it's almost like youth football, Pop Warner. Did you have a good day on the field, or is that before a game?
Man, I don't know. I just know, like, I probably thought I was clean. I just want to take a picture with the ball and just thought I was the guy, So I just look real happy to be where I'm at and just want to take a picture with the ball in my hand.
You already gripping the ball at a young age. That's impressive right there. So someone's going to see that and think, all right, the guys are going to be a great receiver, or he could take Wildcat snaps. So Mikal, will stay with you. Bottom left. Well, what I know, obviously that's college days, but what's your thought of that mean mug right there, the U of H Cougars media guide?
I mean, he still has it, really. It's that same mug, but yeah, I just know he's not really like a small type of guy in pictures like that. But yeah, that's like a normal thing to me. I already knew. I don't know. It's kind of normal to me now, just seeing that. But yeah, that's the type of guy he is. Really, just game face on.
We need Dad to defend himself here.
I learned to grin a little bit more. I mean, it was either I was showing my grill or I was mugging. I don't know. We was just trying to be tough guys back then, I've gotten a little better. I smile a little bit more.
I can tell we've all grown up a lot in a short period of time. Hey, last but not least, you got to love it. Family. I mean, and Mikal, we'll start out with you on that. That's man, it's the closest people in your life. What's going on here in this situation?
We went to Houston, had a little cool cookout. You see it behind us, and just having time with the family, just having time with the coaches, playing games with everybody, just meeting the staff, talking with the staff, and playing with the players, and just meeting new recruits. But yeah, just everybody had to take a picture, and we all taking pictures, and just trying to share us that moment we had.
Man, I love it. Both of you guys, when you see all these, you see how quickly life passes us. But you feel like, man, we've lived a good life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I just watching him. I mean, I have a million more pictures I could have sent you, just from youth baseball, basketball, all the things he's done, for him, staying with me for a summer, shooting on a 10-foot goal at 5. All those things. And now I look up, me and my wife's probably more sentimental about it than me, but she's like, oh my God, this is his last football season. This is his last, this is, and I'm like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. So he took senior pictures a couple of weeks ago, and she was like, I'm not ready. I'm like, well, me neither, but we're at this point now. I'm looking back.
Hey, Mikal brought up TikTok. Listen, that's the last social media platform I have fought not to get on. But you're not on it?
I ain't doing it.
Man, I'm proud of you. Yeah. Well, I want to show you one of the reasons. I do it for the podcast, not for personal reasons. It's pretty comical, but it's also, you wonder, man, people will do anything with these sound effects to make it look like they're doing certain things. I mean, I laugh, but this is
with me, I don't dance, but there's like one I had dance, but that was like a while back. But all the other ones just football TikToks and just stuff that football players do. We all gotta just have.
Yeah, well, see, that's a good use of TikTok.
Yeah, that's all we do. That's all we do. Everybody loves it. So I mean, I get at least like 10K plus every time I do it. So I mean, everybody loves it. So just showing you a highlight and then having the sound on it and then just having words on it, just funny things that's gonna attract people to watch it.
Well, CP, that's good use. What he's talking about, that's good TikTok.
Yeah,
I want to show you how not to TikTok. Y'all ready for this?
Wow. Hey, anything to get likes these days.
That's what that is. That is clickbait. That's all that is.
No doubt.
Hey, Ben. Tell me something good.
Hey, tell me something good. Brought to you by our guy, Kevin Hutchison of Realty Austin. If you're in the Austin, San Antonio area, buying a home is no joke. It's a seller's market. It's really difficult, and it's quite an expensive venture right now. But Hutch will help you in all facets of it. Tell us something good, fellas, my brothers. What do you notice that's positive in this world that maybe people are overlooking? Maybe you've witnessed or something good in your world?
I think with all that's going on, I think there's still good humans in this world. You know, I like to, like, even just at coaching school, just meeting guys I hadn't talked to in years, and the first thing they ask is, how's your family doing? You know, how's your son doing? I'm so proud of him, you know. Just being personable people. I think there's still a place for people like us who just genuinely care about others and not just, it's all about me, or, you know, I got to get mine before they get theirs. I think that's the belief that I have, that there's still good people in this world, no matter where you go.
I agree 100%. Mikal, is there anything you'd like to add to that? That's something good and positive?
I think for all everybody, student athletes, it's always, I got a tattoo that says believe in yourself. So to me, it's just like, always believe like you can do anything you want to do. Like, even like people ask me, like little kids, they ask me like, how can I fix my grades? It's just like, it's really like, you got to do it. Like, you got to like be the one to just sit down and everything, but you got to let some friends go, just focus on you and the people around you, just to have the same goal as you, and just believe, when you believe in anything you can do, you can just achieve anything you want. So yeah, just really doing that, but just really just having good grades and then just working hard, and you're gonna go wherever you want to go in life. So
that's sage advice. I want to tell you guys something good that I think a lot of people forget. That I hope at some point on the public school level in Texas and across the country, coaches and athletics are vital to kids' lives, male, female, all levels, wherever. Without sports, without a dedication, without a commitment, certain lives can go astray real quick. And I've seen sports create people who were on the brink of a dropout in high school. Sports has allowed them to become a doctor, incredible careers, entrepreneurs, because of athletics. And if it weren't for coaches, for me, after losing my father, there's no telling. I would have gone out the deep end in some areas. I would have been a bad kid. But these guys are great examples of that. I appreciate you guys making the time to jump on and inside stories inside the man cave.
I appreciate you having us.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, man. And Mikal, it's going to be a tough decision, but when it's right, you'll know it. And he's got that top 5, and man, we can't wait for that decision. But there's no rush. There's no rush. I'll be a fan of we'll be a fan wherever you go.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, for the pilots who are now both Chris and Mikal, now VIP alumni of Stories Inside the Man Cave, and for the OG Man Cave boys, that being Hardball, Harge, Big Mike, and Coach Mo, we are out.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up.